Hello everyone, this is Wei, and today we're going to talk about OpenLive3D, and we're in the rewrite of day 6. Right. So as you can see, as you can probably see right now, we are currently uh, in the schedule, in the development schedule, and we successfully inside week 1 had finished basically everything that we decided to work on. And on week 2, hello Ghostwife, nice to see you again. Cool. So on week 2, we since we basically have all the core structure, all the fundamental infrastructure finished last week. So for this week, we're going to work on some more minor function or third-party integrations. Right. So for the first one that we'll be working on will be the full body capture. Right. So for full body capture, actually, we don't need to change too much of a code, because we already use holistic model, right? So for the holistic model, it already support full body capture. Just that currently we are only using the half body capture parameter. So inside the holistic model inference or holistic model initialization, we can actually change this uh, parameters. So the effort will not be in too much inside the machine learning, inside the core. We will still need to modify the core. However, the major effort will be changing the GUI. So this is actually a GUI development for the first item, full body capture. And then next one that we will also target to be doing today will be the third-party Blanche API integration, which is actually more of a study. We will need to understand how to integrate that, and after we trying to understand it, we will start the integration. So we actually have quite a lot of things to do today, and I don't even know if we're able to finish the second item, which I'm imagining we'll spend most of the time doing the study work instead of the implementation work. And yes, this is the week 2, and as you can see, we didn't have the September 19th set. If we're not able to finish the third-party integration today, which is very likely, we will try to do it tomorrow. I actually have some other appointment tomorrow, so I'm not sure how much time I will be able to spend. But if we are not able to finish the third-party integration, we'll try to do it tomorrow. And then we'll work on shaders, mobile support, and better GUI. Hope we will be able to complete everything as what we are currently planning as planned. And yes, let's start to work on the full body capture right now. So for full body capture, let me open up the code. Sorry. So for full body capture, let me see. There are a few things that we would like to check, right? So the first thing is that where is the inference, right? So for the machine learning part, we need to check the inference. And after we check the machine learning inference, we can check the front end. So what exactly we would like to change in the front end. And we will spend some time in drawing the icon for our full body capture as well. And since the current facial recognition and also the hand capture icons are also pretty bad, we will also try to work on those. Right. So for the first thing, what we would like to see, what we would like to know is to, okay, so first of all, we are going to use the web version, right? So this is web version, and let us check inside the code, are we able to do a full testing? So let me also check if we are capturing the correct windows for our testing. Yes. Okay, we're having a testing like this. Console. Okay. We are currently getting some error. Let me refresh it. Okay. Okay. Let me open up the test backend as well. Okay. Okay. Everything good. Nice. Cool. So as you can see, this is the icon with hand or without hand, and that is pretty bad. It actually look pretty ugly, right? So this is the first thing that we would like to change. Not the first thing. This is a thing that we would like to change, but only after we check the machine learning inference code first. So in the machine learning inference code, let's check what is the parameters that we're using for holistic workers. So for holistic workers, we're going into the holistic workers. So this is pretty much the configuration that we use. Model complexity, smooth landmark, enable segment, smooth segment, camera on. Huh? What does it? Okay, so based on this setting, we don't actually have the half body setup. We don't. We actually try to capture everything. I see. I see. Okay, so I actually forgot about this, but I think the major difficult part today will actually be in trying to interpret the full body landmark into our converter, right? So we do have hands, we do have pose, and for our pose, we can see that we only get elbow, shoulder, and wrist. And I am not exactly sure if we actually capture the leg. And we will need to understand those by actually checking the detail parsing into in our code, which we really hope that we have those capture. And even if we have those capture, it could be hard for us to turn those into full body motions as well. So that given that, right, just after this inventory, we got something that we will need to change. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. So this timeline is illusional. Because I thought full body capture could be easy, but apparently if we know this, if we know this is what we are going to do, we are not going to make it. We have to give more time to the full body capture, and I'm not sure if I will be able to finish that today. Hopefully we will, because if we're trying to integrate the full body capture with our leg, with our feet, we don't currently have those converter integration written yet, and this will require a lot of coding. So given that we already know that we will need a lot of coding for this, and a lot of testing as well, right? A lot of testing and coding for this. I think a more reasonable approach for us right now is to first draw a better icon, right? So we already know that the hand or no hand icons that is currently, for example, what you can currently see in the testing windows, look pretty bad, right? So yeah, this is the one that you can see that are changing now. Can I point it to it? Yes. this is the icon, right? So this icon with hand or without hand is actually pretty bad. So let's change this one first then. So if we're able to change those icon, what we could be seeing next. Okay, so let us create that icon first. Where is the icon? Okay, I will have to download this file that I use to do icon creation. And then, let's see. Cool. So let me pass it here. Right. Is it on the screen right now? No. Okay. Okay. So this is the icon that we want to work on, right? We know that these are the icons that we want to change. These are not very good right now, so we want to change it. And let's see. Let's move it a little bit. Great. So we want to create 3 icons, right? So one with facial only, and one with hand tracking or head body tracking, and one is full body tracking, right? So let's create one for facial only. So how do we know it's a facial only tracking icon? How do we illustrate that this is a facial only tracking? How do we know? Okay, this is interesting. Right. So one thing that I'm thinking, that I'm imagining, is that we could just assemble a face. Look like Lego. Okay. Okay. Now we have but this is not facial only, right? Because one important thing that we want to check is that this user is not just tracking the facial expression, but also is tracking their head rotation, and their head rotation will actually affect the tracking of the user itself. So let's change it a bit. Maybe I can use it black, and I can have these being white. Oh, no, okay. I need to have the white. Okay. Okay, okay. So this is face only. Let's use this as a face only icon. And after this one, we can have the hand tracking. So let's draw a better hand tracking. Right. So now, because we also need to change, we also need to have these hands. Is it okay? These are the correct position. It looks so weird though. Okay. Anyway, hand. How big is our hand? Is it the same size as our face? Half size of. Okay. 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 That's. Is it not centered? Yeah, this is not centered. We need to center these. Okay, so after these two, we have to draw half of a body as well. How do I draw a body that doesn't make it too weird? Wait a second. Okay, so I want to draw a body that doesn't make the entire tracking look weird. And I can use a which pose should I use? Alright, let's use the easiest one. Okay. Nice. And with snow and black. And we now need to make it slightly larger. Okay. Right, how do I make this work? Right. Right, sorry that when I'm drawing or trying to draw something, it's very hard for me to talk. It's very hard for me to talk while trying to draw things. Okay. Okay. Now with the fill being captured as the background color. What the fuck? Okay, this doesn't match what I'd like to do. Or is it the shape color? Is it? No. How do I change the color of the hand? It doesn't make sense that both line color and also the shape color doesn't affect it. You have a suggestion, make the background black and icon color different. Okay, okay. And face hand color different. Okay. That I think is a good idea because currently it look a bit weird to me. So let me change this series color. And here we got all black. And here we can have everything black. I see. Cool, cool, cool. No worry. Let's change it after. We change the color here. Okay, let's change. And with that, we can also change the color to this and this. Wait a second. Right, so now it's a problem for our hand because it doesn't seem that there is an easy way to change the color of our hand. We're currently getting that from the icon, I believe, in the yes, we're currently getting that directly from the PowerPoint icon. Try making the face a little but skin color. Okay, okay. We can definitely do that. I'm thinking if we can change the hand color. Let's see. Because I don't really know how. Graphic fill, is it? Let's see. Okay, yes, we can change the graph color, just not from the copy paste one. I think this one going through too many transformations, we cannot change it anymore. So we can now change it. Let's just flip it then. Flip. Great. And then we want to change the. I believe we will also like to change the color of our body. So this one we want to change it to more of a skin color. Is it like this? FDAE00. Let's see. I think it's too orange. Yeah, I think it's too orange. This just looks like orange to me. Yeah. Let's compare it then. The default skin color. Yeah, I think it's too orange. Yep, the previous one was better, right? So let's use the more skin color one. And how do we align it? Okay, we don't really need to align it then. Okay, nice. Should we change the body color a little bit? Yellow? Nah. Blue? I think it's overall look better. Yep, I think it overall look better. Especially compared to the previous one. I have no idea what I was thinking. uh, Basically, the previous one's idea is just hand tracking or no hand tracking. And when there is no hand tracking, it's extra fast, right? Yep, body color light blue. So I think it worked. And for full body tracking, we know that we will need to spend a lot of time later on how we actually track the full body. And that might not be easy, But what we could do right now is to is to fix these first. And the face line width will definitely need to be smaller. Ooh, it's too small. Is it? Yep. Okay. Nice. Let's change the background to black first. Okay. Let's see what are our okay, the currently selected blend shape will also be reverse, right? So that's why we have the currently selected blend shape will also be the reverse color, but it should be fine. It should be fine. We just need to figure another way to. I think currently what we're using is just reverse color when things are selected, other than the hand selection. Right. So for this one, I think we can just the current idea is that we can go through the icon, go to the icon, and then we will have a vertical scroll come out, and we can just select one from the three. I think it makes sense. Like going to here, got vertical throw, uh, vertical like selection, and then we just select one. Great. So now the body. And let's just copy everything from here. Make it group and make it small. Okay. And then we just change the face. Size to 4. Great. A cylinder for hand. Don't put hands, just body and cylinder for. I get what you mean, but we actually have finger tracking, right? That's why I don't want to just use cylinder. It should look good, but it doesn't match what we're actually doing. I understand what I don't understand the idea, but I don't know. I think I want to illustrate that the finger is tracked. IG? What does it mean? I mean, people will know anyway. Yeah, kind of. Okay, so if we're not using, oh, you mean for the full body image, right? Because for head body, I think if we change it to cylinder, we'll have no idea. I guess. Yeah. I see. So for head body, if we change it to cylinder, it doesn't make sense. But for full body, I think it makes more sense. Hmm. Okay. So yeah, for full body, yeah, that make more sense. Okay, so let's draw it again. If we are going to have the full body, wait a second, wait a second. Do we have the icon for full body? We do. So let's be lazy. Let's see. We actually have the icon for a lot of things. I mean, yeah. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Yep, and just put it back. Yep, look fine, I guess. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, okay. Uh, okay, let's make it a little bit, just a little bit bigger. Okay, and then align everything. It looks so weird, but let's see. Yep. Let's still try to draw the cylinder for the hand. Yeah, it's yeah. Let's still try to get the cylinder to work. Great. So what we want is a very very small cylinder. It's too large. Can we? Okay. Okay. So what we want is about the size. It's not a cylinder anymore. It's more like a circle, but it should be fine. Okay, okay. Let's see. I see. Okay, I get, but should we use cylinder then? We don't have cylinder here? It should be a very basic shape, right? Okay, or do we have it here? Yes. Okay, this is database, this is not cylinder. But why do you think using a cylinder will work though? I think this is what a cylinder should look like, right? Yeah, that's what a cylinder should look like. Or you are talking about the arms. I think you must be talking about the arms, right? Hmm. Yep. Okay. So I really got a problem with this body. It looked really bad. I have to figure a way. I don't like this. I think we need to fix it. I think there's something that need to be fixed. So how? Is there a way uh that we can assemble a human using these structure? I think this will look a lot better if we try to assemble these. So let's remove it. Let's have it somewhere. Send backward. Okay. And have the a little bit smaller. Okay. How do you think? Now look nice. Nice. Wonderful. You can still keep the circle as hand. Yep. But how will you do the leg? Yep. That is a good point. What if we just... Yeah, because the pen is too short. Can we just make it longer like this? Yeah, let's just, why not? I mean, let's just make it longer. Hmm. Let's make it a bit. Yeah, it's too thin. Let's make it. That works too. Nice. Okay. Want it to be a little bit wider. Bigger. Then this should be good. Yep, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And we still have to test it though, because I am still not so sure. if it will actually look good when we put it onto our UI. But generally, I think this should be fine. So let's test it. Let's test it. Right, because we need to remind ourselves that the size will actually be a lot smaller when this is on the UI. So things with too much detail will not be vivid. So let's just save the file to download. Let me see. This is called face only. And this one is half body. Let's call it half body. Half body. And the last one will be full body. Nice. And let's put all of these into our asset folder first. So let's open our folder of our web testing and put it into asset. This will be hands, right? So good. Okay, so to check this, to check how the UI will look with our web, let's just change how currently the with hand and no hand is rendered, right? So we had our with hand and no hand image here. So let's check where are those two images being selected. They should be not inside the core, they should be in the GUI, and let's check the GUI for the, I think currently it's called hand no hand. No hand or hand on. Okay. So these are code here in the code. Okay, I removed the. Okay, these images are code here, right? So let's just change it to what's the name? Okay, to code face only and head body. Let's see. I think it should look good. Also, the search icon. The search icon thing. Okay, because covers model. The search icon thing. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. Let's just test the code then. Test the code first. So with this change, with this refreshed, okay, is it a lot more clear? Okay. So there is another problem with this. Is that yep, the size of the image will slightly change. This is not good. I think we have to figure out a way to fix it. The reason why the size of the image is slightly changing. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. The only problem is that the size of the image is slightly changing, and the reason why it is slightly changing is because the height of the image that I create will be slightly adjusted by the image creation process. Right, so we need to make all the images the same size. That should be good. So it's not a huge problem. Let's just check what is the original size. So the original size of the image where is the a good reference? Let's see. Okay, we don't even need to make it exactly the same size as all our facial expression. But let me check. Fuck. Sorry. I put back. Okay. So let me check the other size. What? What I'm currently checking is other motion width and height. And it seems like it doesn't really matter because all the images got a different size. Okay, the basic size is 310 times 310. So let's just try to make it 310 times 310 then. Or let me check. What is the current size? 308 times 310. Huh. What? It doesn't make sense. Hello, Sensor. So yeah, we're currently trying to work on the icon for the hand and body selection. As you can see now, there's a slightly size difference of the icon, so that's why it will keep jumping like this. So we want to make it exactly the same size, so that's what we're currently working on. So let's make both. How is it? Okay, so what I will do is to make everything I will try to crop some of the image. By cropping it, I should be able to make the size more similar. For this half body, what is the size of it? 327 and 310. Okay, so this is what we need to change. Three 310. We need to crop a 310 310. Some good stuff. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, some interesting stuff, definitely. So crop, save. Okay, so now we should have both the face only and also the half body being the same size. Let's refresh the page. and see if the icon size is also changed. Okay, so now it should change, right? Why is it not? Let's see the source. No, not source. Network. And for the size, head body. Head body. It doesn't make sense then. Okay, let's see. Yeah, let me try to check some of the information. Is the size okay? This is the old one. This is not the new one. So I just changed the size, but why is it not updated? Let me refresh the page again. It could be. No, it's still different size, it seems. Is it only when the image's asset is changed? Yeah, these are still the old size. Okay, so one idea, let's change the name first. Call it face hand and body. Okay, if we change the name, face, hand, body, and let's refresh the asset. With this, we should get the latest image. Then they should be exactly the same size. That's good, that's good. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so now, yeah, this is a lot better. Even if the sizes, yep, yeah, even if the size currently, nice. Cool. So now we have the icon changed, and we know that we want to have the full body support, right? So when we scroll into here, what we want is that we want to make it a vertical, not scroll, but vertical selection for the three icons that we would like them to list here. This we need to figure out how to approach this, right? Because when we click, it means that when we click here, we want something to jump out. And this is when it jump out, it need to be separated from the current layout. So it needs to be a higher level compared to the current layout. Because if we are fixed in one layout, in the current layout, the facial model cannot exceed the div. Basically, cannot exceed the size of the model. Right, so we need to change that as well. So how physics on the hair looking great if you were to get a hand to work, that will be good. Okay. We're basically just using default physics. So the hand currently, let's see. The hand tracking currently is working kind of alright. It's not fully functional, I would say, because for some of the gesture, you cannot, for for example, when you try to reverse your hand to another position like this, I actually currently only have one hand up. So another hand, if we don't have another hand also pulled up, if I put down one hand, yeah, we got some defect, and the hand tracking on the other side is just not good. So if we have two hand up, we basically can track it to be somewhat okay. Yeah, but yeah, it's definitely not decent. And currently we're having two machine learning tracking. So I will normally just use the face only mode so that the frame rate will be a lot better. Good. So after this, we will want to after this, there are several things that we could do. There are several things that we could do to make the code, to make this fully work. One thing that we will need to work on is to have a converter to convert the body pose into the 3D motion, right? And that will definitely take a lot of time and understanding if we want to have the full body tracking to work. And another thing that we will definitely need to work on is the UI change. So now, when we're here and we try to click this icon, we will directly change it to another face tracking. But what I would like to do is that when we click this icon, we will have a vertical selection box. This will take some time to develop because we will need a new box that is independent from this one. And with that, we should be able to select the three options. Is that, or do we, when we click into it, maybe we don't need it to be, vertical selection? We could also use okay. Sorry. In my original thought, I think when we click into the icon, we can make it a horizontal scroller selection. But maybe when we click into it, we can make it open vertically. And after we've opened the three vertical option, we can select one, and they will collapse again. I think it makes sense. But how to set that up will be a problem. And also, if we're using that, maybe for the emotion, maybe for the mood selection, we can also use the same, right? Because that will save us a lot of space. But will it be a good function or not? Okay, this one I think I definitely need your opinion. I think you could make selection slide out. Yeah. Yes, we could. But for the mood selection, right? Currently we have this happy face, sad face, and Do we also want to collapse them into one current icon, and we click into that icon, it will also open the slider? Or we don't want to we don't want to collapse that into one, and as well, because if we collapse the mood selection into one, it could save us space. Like we would just have one for uh, the tracking mode, for face only, hand tracking, full body, and another icon for mood selection. It will save us a lot of space, but it also means that we will need to click to select another mood. For me personally, because I don't select the mood too often, it will work for me. It will provide a better, like, it will seem to be a better UI for me, but I'm not sure for other users. How often do you select the mood? And if we make it two click, will it be too difficult for the users, for all users to select the mood? I think we could potentially maybe make a scroll, sorry, make a pool in our Discord, right? Yeah, so let's make a pool in our Discord if we want to do this UI change. And yeah, because I don't think we should directly change it without taking all the members or most of the active users member into consideration. Great. Let's check that later. So given that the UI changes, we can talk to the members. I think the current things that we definitely should work on will be how do we convert the machine learning result into how do we convert the machine learning result into the not the facial landmark, but for the full body. And it could be quite hard, and now it will be not very interesting for the rest of the video. Let's try it. So first of all, we need to enable the hand tracking. So now the hand tracking is enabled. Let's see. And we need to refresh our page. And when we refresh our page, we'll see that we are actually using holistic mode right now, right? Because we saved the setting. So inside holistic mode, let's see our full body result. Is this? No. Yes, first result. So in this first result, we have the face landmark. We have the multi-face geometric if we have multiple face, but we don't. And we also have the pose landmark. This is what we need. And this pose landmark got a length of 33. What does it mean? Okay, so to track this, we actually need to open up okay, so we can open up here. So we need to open up the pose detection media pipe. So in the pose detection media pipe, let's see, code example. Alright, so this is the image that we need to take into consideration. Let's open the image to another tab. Great. So, okay, so the image is too small for everyone to see, right? Is it? Right, so we need this image. let me put the image in our cover page. What the? Alright, so let me quickly change the setting. Format background, solid color. Alrighty. What the heck? Okay. Okay, so this is what we want to track. Using the pose model. Yes, this is what we want to track with our pose model, right? And now we already track our shoulder, we already track our elbow and wrist, as you can see in our pose key. And inside the pose key, let's see the pose Denmark code. Okay, it only have let me check the reference code from MediaPipe. Okay, doesn't really matter. And here, okay, it doesn't really provide too much information in the MediaPipe sample as well. So what we would definitely have to do, are you trying full body or just upper body? So we already have the upper body. Right? So yes, we already have the upper body here. So that shouldn't be a problem. The problem is that the task today is to also have full body tracking, right? So we want to gain full body tracking support. And to have full body tracking support, we will need to track more than what we are tracking right now. As we can see currently in our code, we just track elbow, shoulder, and wrist, right? And this is how we are turning our elbow, shoulder, and wrist into the hand tracking that we have. That is a half body. Or upper body. That is upper body. But there is one very important problem that we need to consider, is that currently in our upper body tracking, the hand tracking is actually done completely differently using a separated mechanism, right? So if we open up our converter in our core, so this is the core and this is the converter, we can see that in our body tracking, we actually only track elbow, shoulder, and wrist to a degree, like not too much. So we basically trying to use this information, but mainly only for our shoulder and a little bit of our hand, right? So let's see how these information are used. Let's see. This information, if we actually use it, should be inside manager. Risk. Okay. So with hand checking, we are tracking the risk X and Y. Yo, okay. Risk. Interesting. So shoulder risk. Okay. Elbow. Do we use elbow anywhere? Elbow. Okay. Interesting. So the current idea or the current process is that we track two things. The current process is that we track. Let me open up the hand. So we actually track. Okay. It bugs out a little bit. Right. So we currently track the hand, and also we just compare the position of the wrist to the position of our shoulder. Right. So basically hand and shoulder, and we don't consider where our elbow is. We don't care. We don't really care where our elbow is, and that is because for the current tracking, we just try to use our hand position and shoulder position to try to guess where our elbow is without actually using the elbow information on the screen, right? So the machine learning model does return where our elbow is, but we don't actually use it. And the reason why we don't actually use it is because when the machine learning model is trying to return the position of our elbow, it actually in 2D it makes sense, but in 3D it doesn't make sense in terms of rotation, right? So if we are just using the hand position, the shoulder position, and the elbow position, directly try to turn that into our 3D model rotation, the result doesn't make sense. And this is what we are trying to prevent here. So to try, all right, let me change it back to face only. Right. So given that we already know that the current tracking, although we do track shoulder and wrist, we don't actually use elbow. And the rotation is based on guessing. The hand elbow rotation is based on guessing. It pretty much means if we want to track full body for our leg and actual like body position, the current pose conversion will need to be completely rewrite. Yeah, because it will not make sense at all. All right, that is a huge problem. But just by the way, I should try to simplify this. Yeah, there is no way that I can simplify this because I will need these information for the ARM magic, and the ARM Euler return from the ARM magic just cannot be saved directly into a key like this. Okay, so that's why I have it separated into two steps. Good point. Okay. So given that, how do I make it work? And how do I make it work better? Okay. This is, yeah, this is actually quite difficult. We do have the time, so let's try it. 3D rotation in another ballpark is another ballpark. Yeah, yeah. So currently the 3D rotation, just based on machine learning tracking, is actually quite wrong. It's actually quite, we cannot just use it. So that's why I'm saying that this part can be a bit tricky. So if we are trying to directly use the 3D recognition from the model result, like what we're seeing here, here we get the model result, right? So after we get this model result, I think we got X, Y, and Z. So we do got Z. So if we are trying to utilize these information, what I think what we will need to do is that we will need to have some modification to the z-axis first, because this is where we know that the information actually doesn't make sense. And after modifying the z-axis, so that our body length actually match the model body length, right? Because for xy, it actually tracked quite well, but for the z-axis, it is super inaccurate, right? So this is what we might need to see how to make it. Yeah, we will. Yeah, yeah, we definitely need to see how to make it better. Like, okay, 7 and 6. Where is 6? 6. Okay, let me check 3. 7 and 3. Yep. For example, for 7 and 3, we're seeing that the z-axis changed by 0.5, right? 0.5. And what does 0.5 means? 0.5 here in the tracking means that it is basically a quarter of the entire tracking space. So a quarter of the entire tracking phase is basically the same size of the entire head, right? The same size from the top of the head to the chin, right? So 0.5 is a little more than top of the head to the chin, but what we're tracking for 3 and 7, it actually is the eye and ear, right? So the distance from our eye and ear is actually not too large. If you ask me, I would say the number should be around 0.05. But in the machine learning result, the z-axis difference is 0.5, which means the z-axis is just wrong, right? So the z-axis is just wrong in this return. So if we want to directly use the x, y, and z and turn these information into the 3D model movement, this is something that we will need to modify before we use this as our rotation target. And this can be quite hard because I saw other libraries that try to use this information and they are not able to do it well. For most of the commercial 3D tracking approaches, they are not using single camera. So if we want to use single camera and still want to do this, we will need a way to modify the z-axis. To make it more reasonable and reliable. Yeah, so for 12, what is it? 12. Shoulder, right? So the shoulder is also more front, right? So this is basically, or more back than our ear by half the size of the head. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, the yeah, doesn't make sense at all. 14. Yeah, this just cannot uh be directly taken into consideration. Yep. Right. So I think to make the full body tracking work, it is a lot of effort. It is a lot of effort, and it's actually more effort than I thought we will like to spend on this item. Right. So that's at this current moment. At this current moment, let's go to our design. Right. So let's go to our design, and let's maybe reprioritize. Yeah, it's a challenge, but should we do it now or later? I would say maybe we shouldn't do it now because we can do other things that might be slightly faster. Right. So let's reprioritize. Yeah, that's why people use other like equipment. But okay, the library that currently we're developing at this time, at this moment, is to make. Yeah, later is good, right? So what we are trying to develop right now is a library that aims to be very, very lightweight. Like everyone with a semi-decent laptop, like what I'm currently using, can start working on. Right, so let's put it to later, and let's check to. Okay, let's add another item because we still did something already. So today, what we already did is a hand tracking icon change, and I think is a good change. Right, so hand tracking icon change, and let's see. Okay, before we jump into the next item, since we focus on hand tracking icon change, there's one thing that I would also like to see is that in our GUI, let me see. Yep. So inside our GUI, I want to see face dot. Okay. I want to see if the third icon that we designed also look good enough. Right? So we have hand and face. Let's put it to body and see if the icon is good enough because it might be too small. Is it good enough? Let's make more comparison. Right, let's compare hand to body. Face to body. Yeah, I would say it's good enough. Good. Cool, let's change it back. And now it should be face to hand. Face to upper body. Yeah, I think yeah, it's noticeable, and I think it's reasonably done. Okay. Yep. That's then. I think for the icon change, if we're just taking that as an icon change, I think it's quite successful. Can you do the unhover thing with it too? What do you mean? You mean when we hover, it will it will do what? Because currently, when we hover, it will change the icon. Like what in 3 second delay. Okay, hover delay. I have never thought of it, but why we want the delay though? Why do you think? Yeah, why do you want the delay for it? Because from what I think, when we hover on hover, when we keep the mouse on icon, it will already change. I I I don't really get it. If we keep the icon on top of it and hover, and you will want it to change in a few seconds? Yeah, when we click the icon, it definitely change. Like here, we just click it, and from the log, we can see that these logs are running. So yeah, so we can now track our hand. And when we click the icon again, it will. When I raise my hand, like right now, it will not track my hand. I know. Yeah. So, but when we hover over the icon, it will also change the icon currently. Yeah, I know what hover is, and we actually have that implemented that when we hover over the icon, it will change the icon, right? Like we are not clicking on it. I have that implemented. But why? You mean I don't get the question. You mean why should we change the icon when we hover over it? Okay, the reason why I have the hover implemented is because uh, I do want the user to know what they are clicking into. Yeah, the only reason is that I do want the user to know what they are click into. So when they click, they know that okay, currently without hover, that is face only, and when we hover over it, it will be have upper body tracking. Can we have a stat image of a body? What does it mean? Can we have a static image of a body? I don't get the question as well. Okay, so first of all, we don't necessarily need to have the hover, right? So I get I get what you mean, right? So we can have three images here, and the user can click into one to just select the one that they are currently uh, using, right? And we could potentially have one indicator telling the user what tracking mode that they are using right now. And we could also open up like the horizontal scroll or vertical scroll and have the user to select one without hovering over it. When the user click into it, you open up a selection screen. I think that could be better. That could be better. Right. Yep. So Ghostboy, you want to provide a video? Right. Okay. So let's put more effort into the GUI change today. I think this is definitely something that can be improved and and also should be improved. So maybe not using hover to just change the icon. I agree. This could be a better approach. Let me try to first see where that hover icon is. Okay, it's not mood, it's definitely hand tracking. Show hand, get hand tracking. On mouse over, on mouse out. Yep. So this is where things are changing, right? So when we check the code here, what we know is that there is a hover code for this 6th line. This is one thing that we notice. Another thing that we notice is that currently we're using hand tracking as a parameter to determine the machine learning mode, which we probably shouldn't. We should probably use tracking mode. And all right, so now with this, the hovering is removed, right? Now with the hovering is removed, but the user don't know what they're clicking into, right? So what I'm thinking is that when we click into it, we will open up a vertical scroll with more icon to select. Yeah. What is okay? I don't get. I don't get the idea. So show hands. Okay. The current show hand function is actually written like this. Okay, so given that we're not going to have full body tracking very soon because it is a large. Okay, so you are saying that when we click into the icon, it will open up a vertical scroll for other face tracking or like other tracking mode icons, and then we can select one. That should work, right? Cool. So in that case, we will need to change two things. The first thing is to change the parameters. Currently, the parameters is hand tracking, and that is a Boolean vector. Boolean variable. So that can either be true or false, and we don't want that to be happen like this actually. So what we will probably need to do is to have a tracking mode configuration. And this will actually be quite a large change because I think the hand tracking is used in a lot of different places. So, yep. Yeah, the hand tracking is used in many different places. And let's see if we actually use that in our core landmark. Hopefully not. Okay, so we don't use that in the landmark, which is good. Where is this landmark? Electron. Okay. Yep, we don't use that in the landmark, and we only use it in our manager. And we will also need to check if we use that in our other types of keys. I don't think so. Okay, so we don't use it in other types of keys. Okay, let's make the change and see if we got any bug with it. So the hand tracking will be changed to tracking mode, right? Tracking mode. And this will actually be a multi-select. Do we have other multi-select before? We do. We do have multi-select for language. Okay, so that is the only multi-select that we have, it seems. Yeah, that is the only multi-select that we have. So currently we will need to change it. Tracking mode, by default, let's make it face. Face, hand, and body. Let's just have these three modes, right? So by default, it will be face tracking. And here in the manager, we will want to put it as tracking mode equals to hand. Right, and do we have other hand tracking? Right, so this will be tracking mode. Mode configuration. Tracking mode. And while we're sending this mode configuration to our machine learning model, let's see, in our model, when we get the model initialization, we will try to use different model mode. And when the thread is single thread, we will only use the face single thread model. When the model is with hand, mode equals to hand, we will use holistic, which is the half body tracking. Does it make sense? I think it kind of does, but for the machine learning inference, actually there is a difference between it, because when we pause this, pause image meta key, okay, these are not shouldn't be a problem. Okay, these shouldn't be a problem then, I think. Should be fine. Okay. And the machine learning actually returned all the results, so we don't need to worry about it. For configuration, we already changed the upper part. We still need to change binary because this is not a binary anymore. This is not a binary. This is get side box. Guess. Okay, this is not side box. Okay, so this is not binary. And this is the first thing in our hand, general hand function. So this is now tracking mode, and we can have where is our language selection though? Let's see how we implement our multi-language, because we need to know available language. Nice. Yeah, we need to know available languages. In that case, okay. In that case, let's not change too much of it. Okay. That's because language is a totally different beast or a totally different tracking mechanism, right? So in that case, let's just change it here. Face, hand, body. And we know that we currently will not have body tracking. Ready? So let's put body here. So we only have two modes, face or hand. And given that, when we track in our GUI, okay, there are a lot of things that need to be changed. So first of all, this is no longer a hand box. This is no longer a hand tracking box. And where do I search for the hand tracking box? The hand tracking box will be inside the binary CM. So this is not a binary CM. This will need to be together with a language. To be honest, you can do body tracking way later and doesn't need to happen now. Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm thinking that we should just optimize. Maybe we can optimize the GUI first. Most people will use upper body tracking only. Yup. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I completely agree though. That's why I think that let's just forget about the full body tracking. Right, so when it is not binary, what we can do is that we introduce another tracking mode and nice. Yep. Although we have the optimize better GUI item later, but I think since we're handling this right now, let's just try to handle it. So for the item style display, none. And we have an item select, which is a select that we are trying to not from available language. but from its value. But why do we not, inside the configuration definition, have the language selection array? General. Yeah, why are we not using this item? Oh, the reason why we're not using this item is because we want to separate everything inside multi-language. But maybe we should just change it to available language. Do we have? Oh, we have the get CVN. Let's just change this function to here. Sorry, to here. Because get language, it should be here. It can. It makes sense for it to be here as well. Current language. And with that, we can still have all the multi-languages defined here. And I think it's more simple as well. But in that case, we will need to change the index.html order. Config manager. Where is the multi-language? Yep, here. In that case, multi-language will need to be higher than config. And we can, under that assumption, define something called get multi select CM. And we have two, language and tracking mode. So get select CM, it is no longer language. If get select CM includes the configuration key, we will try to have select, we will try to have the value the current value, the initialization value, where is the range, yeah, we will have to set the range. Oh yeah, the range, item range, new range, configuration item range, nice. We will have the range here. And we create the item, and then we set the name to the item and index item select language item append, yes. And for the, okay, let's not call it item, Let's call it sub item. Select item. Item name. Select item. Select item name. Select item name equals to, if the select item name equals to tracking mode, we will have the current selection value Why do we have this line here? We don't need to have this line here. We can run it after everything is created. Yeah, this is more like bug proof, so I understand. Okay, since this is more bug proof, let's set it like this. Okay, and then item select onChange function change the tracking mode equals to item select value. And then we don't need to run create layout, right? I don't think we do. We need to run create layout? We don't. Yeah, we don't need to run create layout because this is just a select item change. The reason why we create layout is because that is for language. So it means if language we need to create layout. I sometimes feel confused with nested loops. Do you understand loops very great? Hopefully, I'm not exactly sure. Because sometimes it just take a long time to track. But I hope I get it correct. For the code that I wrote, I mostly get it correct. Most of the time, get it correct, which is already, I think, is already difficult. Okay, config item change is not iterable. Well, let's see. Or we don't use it. Okay, we as range. As where is it? For a general language, it's valid. Okay, range. I think can be range. It is reasonable. Where's the hand? Okay, hand valid range or valid. Okay, valid also makes sense. Let's make it valid. It means that here is not range, but valid. Let's see. Hand tracking. Okay, so we still need to figure out the hand tracking box. Right. By the way, Ghostway, do you have question about loops, or why do you ask the question? Let's call tracking mode bug then. Mode box. hand object. If tracking mode hand box hand okay, this is interesting. Okay, so on click, yes. Okay, so the problem here, what we're seeing right now, is that the current UI doesn't actually match. Doesn't actually match with the idea of multi-selection, right? So we already changed the value to be multi-selection, but this doesn't match with what we have in the UI, because what we have in the UI is that when you click the UI, when you click the icon, it will change to it will change from true to false. So, or from false to true. So while we change the configuration to be a multi-select, we might also need to change the GUI to match it as well. However, in terms of functionality, I think it should work as a function right now for the tracking. Although it will try to get one value, which is here, it will try to get a value, but it will not set the correct value, because currently we are still trying to set hand tracking, which is fine. The more robust setting here in the hand, we should have the hand tracking to be able to select from face or hand. And when we select hand, yes, when we select hand, we will be able to track our hand. We should be able to track our hand. Do we? We don't. So something went wrong. Something went wrong in the manager, probably. It is not in the manager? Okay, something went wrong. First of all, we know that we do use holistic, because from our log here, we're seeing that we are using holistic, so we are returning the hand result. But the hand result is not utilized, probably in the controller. So let's see the controller. Yes, yes. So inside this controller, we're trying to check the hand tracking. And is that the only thing that we do here? It seems so. So we have to change this to tracking mode as well. So when we check it to tracking mode, equals to face, we know that we are only setting default pose for tracking mode equal to face. So let's see it again. So we are currently running holistic model, and we are able to have our hand up now, right? So that is caused by the hand tracking problem. So is that the only problem that we have? It seems so. It seems so. Okay, so now let's change the change the UI, because we already know from here, from the more like robust UI control, we can have the hand selection already. But for here is the instant UI, right? For the instant UI, we still want to be able to control the tracking mode as well. The reason why in the instant UI we want to have the tracking mode selection is because there are people who will like have to do this in real time, like select different tracking mode and fast. Uh, because when people are sometimes when they are playing games, and when they are not playing, so sometimes people want to play games with high GPU utilization or CPU utilization, and they are switching from playing games to not playing games, or they just want to open up the hand tracking for a little while to point to something, like yeah, point it to something. In that case, we will like to still have this selection somewhere here. So let's change the UI then. Let's change the UI. I think everything is good other than the UI now. So how do we change the UI? The easiest approach is actually to create two hand. First of all, let's change the name of it, because I think the current naming is quite bad, I would say. Yeah, so currently we're having face only and upper body, right? And we could have full body. Let's see for this change. Aha, face only. And with that change, we will also need to change everything. Face only. Landmark, no. Manager. Manager, yes. Tracking mode. Equals to upper body. Just two. Okay, save. Anywhere else that we're trying to use it? Okay, let's guess no, and let's see. Is it working? Setting, hand, face only, upper body. Let's see. It doesn't work because in the core we probably still have to change here. Equals to upper body. Yes. In this case, it should work. Let's change it to face only first, and then change again. Now there is face only, good. And then we try to change inside the setting for upper body. And we're loading the holistic models, and we can have the hand tracking up. Yes. And let's change it back. And we have changed back to face tracking only. Great. Okay, so now we know that the UI is pretty much good to go. For the basic UI, and that's for the advanced quick UI, what we could do is that we don't need this handbox, and we don't need to check the handbox to change. What we need is a for loop. Across the tracking mode And how do we change the tracking mode? By the way, before we change that, let's see if the language will still work in this case. Okay, general language change to JP, and yes, change to JP, and change back to EN. Nice. And for hand tracking, face only, upper body, model enabled, and hand tracking up, and change back. Nice. Great. So from what we see, we can first of all remove these 4 segments of code, and then we need to figure out how do we track that information. Is a config modifier a map, or is it a map? Oh, it's not just a map. It's actually a map of array. So let's make it more difficult. Yeah, let's make it more difficult. Okay, so what about we just define available tracking mode somewhere. Now, define it as a parameter will be better. Okay. Available tracking mode. Face only and upper body. Okay, so here we got our available tracking mode. Oh no, we cannot do it like this as well, because we need the tracking mode to be pointing to different images, unless we have the tracking mode and images naming synchronized, which we can do it here. So face only, and here we name it full body. Have that, and this is upper body. Great. So now the naming is synchronized, and we can use available tracking mode here and here. Where? Okay. Yes, here. For that I go available tracking mode length plus plus. And we copy these code into here, and what we will need is to have hand object. What the heck? Where is that hand object created? Ooh, what? I created it here? What? Okay, that shouldn't be true. We need to have it here then. Okay. Show hand function. That also need to be changed. But this is actually quite a huge change that we will need to do. So how do we do it? Okay, let's worry about the this is actually quite widely used, right? I think we changed the show hand function quite a lot. Yeah, and that is code everywhere. 1, 2, 3. Where is this? Key tracking, show hand, hand tracking. Okay, so the hand tracking was here. We should probably remove it. Okay, first of all, we should remove it, but how do we know? Okay, alright, so where is it? Okay, now it's only used inside the hand creation function, which is good news. And inside the hand creation function, I think what we could do is that we are first creating an image, and inside this image, we are trying to get the ID as, what do we do? Hand obj plus checking mode, and the size will be the same, pointer, and we don't need this show hand function. On click tracking mode equals to tracking mode, and then we need to code a function to optimize. We need to code a function to modify. To modify the filter. Can we also use invert? Alright, so let's not worry about invert first. Yeah, let's not worry about invert. And commented out this line. Commented out this line. And let's test the UI first. Right. So with this UI being set to a very stupid that is because we missed this line for the SRC, and we need a hand object to point to hand, and that would be tracking mode plus PNG, and let's refresh. Good. Now we have the two tracking mode here. What are we saying? Is it too much of a space? Let's see. Should it be more compact? Holy shit, what is going wrong? What the fuck? go back to this. Okay, the line width is definitely something that we need to consider and need to tune. Okay, but let's see. So currently there is no hand tracking. Click into this. Model loading. Hand tracking enabled. And click back. We have a hand tracking disabled again. Click here. Hand tracking enabled. Disable. Enable. So yes, we kind of have it working, but we also need to be able to know which face tracking mode that we're using. I don't think this is a good way to do it though. Okay, first of all, is there a way that we can change the BR width? I just want to have like 1.5 then line width instead of the 2 line width. Especially for the tracking mode. Yeah, this is something that we need to consider. How do we know which mode that we're currently selecting? Okay, so that's let's have another function called show mode tracking mode. And for the show tracking mode, we will going to display the current tracking mode. And or let's call it set tracking mode, because to match it with the set move select, or call set tracking mode select. I think that would make more sense. And for that set tracking mode select, we can have new tracking mode. And basically what we will need to do is to go through all the tracking mode and just change it again, right? Change the color of it again. Tracking mode. Yes. Right, so what we can do here, tracking mode as equals to available tracking mode. Now we actually can directly go through the loop of it. So So when we go through all the loop for all our mode, what we can do is to have tracking mode equals to available tracking mode I, and then if we don't need to check VRN mode, we just need to directly get the mode ID, which is here. To get this, we just need the okay, the naming of the object is also a bit problematic, but it's okay. Just legacy. Okay. Tracking mode. And after here, we have the style filter go to null, and with this we then get the one with the new tracking mode. Yes, and change the filter. And now let's see how it works. Okay, so now it looks like this. When we select the different one, there will be inverted color, and we completely don't know which one we're using, right? So yeah, this is not a good idea, probably. Yeah, we completely don't know which one we're using. Yeah, so using invert color probably only work for the expression, but doesn't work for mood, doesn't work for tracking mode. I think we do need to open up a vertical scroll, but yeah, I think we do need to open up the vertical scroll. That will change a lot of our code. That will change a lot of our code. What time is it? 5:20 something already. Yep. So, okay. So the current idea is that we will probably like to change the okay. So let's do it. So we change the GUI of our mode selection, and also our move selection into one selectable object. Only when you click into it will it open the selection. Instead of using this filter, what we will do is that we are going to change all of them into most of them into non-visible items when we're not in the selection mode. And we're inside a selection mode, we are going to change it into visible. When the user actually select one item, we will change it to non-visible we'll change most item into non-visible again. I think it makes sense. Uh, I think it makes sense. So let's do it. Let's do it right now. Because we already have both the hand selection and the move selection structure in. So I think this is something that we can definitely do, which means uh, this is actually something called is visible, right? So style display none. Great. So let's just change the style of display here. So hand object style display none. And only the hand object that is displaying is changed to display block. Okay. Let's see if this works. So we should only have, holy shit, this is a problem. Yeah, this is the problem. So we cannot just use display equals to none or not none, because this is just a display. We need to change the class into hidden or not. Okay, so this is more tricky. This is more tricky then. Is there a way to better... Okay, so there's a hidden. Let's see if the hidden will work better. Hidden. Let's see. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Why? Okay, so let's try to select the... What the fuck? Why? Why the space increase? Doesn't make sense. Okay, so which means the hidden is not working. None is also not working. So what will work then? Can we just change the class into hidden? Class name. Okay, let's try. Let's try to use class as well. I'm not sure if it will work, but it does make a little make some sense to me. Class name goes to none. Okay, let's try. Huh. Okay, so it still doesn't work then, because there is still an empty space here. And we cannot even click it. Let's see. So if we change the setting for our hand tracking to use upper body, it will not change. The reason why it doesn't change is because we only have it defined here, but we should instead also have it inside here on change. How previous? Okay. Else if config item key equals to tracking mode. We will like to change it to the value. Select item name. Let's see. So in this case, we should have, okay, the tracking mode equals to hand tracking. And now when we change the setting, hand into face only, and it back in the UI is not changed because select item name is not defined. Oh yeah, of course. Item select. What the? Okay. So it should actually be item select value then. Let's see. Yes, it is item select value. So this is the face only. Setting, hand tracking, upper body. And yes, upper body tracking. Upper body. Okay. Good. But we need to change a few things. First of all, in configuration, this is called tracking mode. Second of all, how do we remove an image when it is not there? So this could be problematic. Style visibility, visible hidden. Okay, so let's see if style visibility, visible hidden can work. Hidden. Or will it only change the part I'm worried about is that even if I do this, it might still occupy the space. Face on, yeah, it's still occupying the space. to hide. Take a space. Display none equals to remove element from the document. What the? It should be what I'm looking for, but why is it not working like what I want? Display none. Okay, let's try it again then. Yeah, it should be what I need to do for display none. Let's see. Let's try. Still occupying space then. Why? Is it because I said something in the... No, I didn't, right? It's just automatically adding up. I didn't even check how many items are already inside the bar already, right? Yeah, I didn't check that. So this shouldn't be an issue. Margin depth on click. Image box. Okay. So it seems like this modification only work for div. It doesn't work for image, which also makes sense. Right? So how do we do it better? Right. Okay. Ideally, the easiest way that we track this is just to have another div to cover up the image object, which should be fairly simple, just like this. But we also need an ID for this one, which I think will be div tracking mode. So now with this, we should be able to have the div here, here, and here, and here. And here we will have the hand div to get the tracking. And let's see if it works. The problem is that I'm not sure if this will actually occupy some size. And it does seem to do it. It does seem to do it. Let's see. Current hand, face only. Let's see. What's wrong with the code though? New tracking mode. Let's see. So when we try to print that new tracking mode, we got face only, which shouldn't be a problem, right? Because we have face only. we have face only, and we have hand div. And we are removing to none. Style equals to style display non-display block. Oh shit. Yep. Okay, let's try it again. Should be working now. Okay. What? What? Okay. Let's see, first of all, let's see if we change the tracking mode to upper body. This will be modified. Alright, so this will be modified. That's not a problem. When we change it back, it should also be modified as well. Yes. But why is it occupying space? It shouldn't occupying space. I don't get why it is occupying the space. Tracking mode. If we disable everything here, will it help? Nope. Nope, it doesn't help. Why? Doesn't make sense to me. Okay, let's see. Sidebar. I need to track an object called mood box. Move alert box, load box. Where is the move box? Okay, move box, yes. And inside here we have hand diff face only. 52 times 0, that doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. We have another one that is also 52 times 0. Why? Alright, so you don't have an actual A wrapper. It can display when there's nothing inside it. Change that to be an actual nav icon. I don't see. Okay, okay. Yeah, debugging process is just like this. Why is it not working then? Okay, so given that, since that is a div already, maybe we can use class name. Let's see. Brute force the problem. And it still occupy space. Shit. Why? Why though? Wait a second. Oh, oh. Okay. 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 First, let's change it like this. First. And we still occupy space. Fuck. Hello, sensor. Yeah. We just faced a bug, the UI bug, which is the hardest bug for me to track. I just sometimes don't know why it doesn't work, and sometimes why it works and sometimes why it doesn't work. Display none. Okay, so let me change it to something like this first. And what I think it should do is that we will not show any item here, but it turns out it still occupied all the space that we want it to do. And is it because of this BR? Oh, interesting. Yep. Yep. The problem is we are actually using. Okay. What if we change it to like this? Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. Now I get it. And now it all makes sense that we need div to encapsulate that. Because only when we have it like this to have the display none and style display to none, only when we have those like this will we be able to separate the difference. Yes, okay, that's good. So now when we change this hand tracking mode to upper body, we will see it's changed to upper body with hand. And when we click it, it will not do anything because we now need a new parameter in our configuration that is called in tracking mode select false. And this parameter with such a long name will be a system parameter. In tracking mode select will be a system parameter. We can also create a parameter for in mode select first. We will probably not touch it soon. Let's change the order of these two slightly. The reason why I want to change the order is just because it is prettier, right? So in mode select, in tracking mode select, good. So what we would like to do, first of all, let's change it back to face only, is that when we click into the icon, when we click it, we will go into tracking mode select. So here, when we click into that, here, what we will do is that we will check if get CMV tracking mode select is on or not, right? So if the tracking mode message rejected, okay, if the tracking mode is selected, it means that we can set everything to their usual space. And if that is not selected, which means we will want to set our tracking mode as true. And when the tracking mode is true, we will display tracking mode. Yep, whatever. Let's do it like this. And inside here, what we will do is that we will run the loop to set everything into block. And will that work? Will that even work? And we forgot to set it back to false also. Okay, let's change again. When we click it, we will have both. And we click another one, we will select the hand tracking mode. And when we click it, it will open up both. And we select one, we will have the face only. Is it good? Is this approach good or not? Is it a good approach? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that is a good approach. Okay, I'm really not sure if that's a good approach. But let's have the setup ready for our mood selection as well. Right, so what we know here is that we need D3 to be here and mood bar append mood div. And inside this append, we will set mood select and set mood. Inside this mood div, we will have everything basically non-display. And we will run a loop here to get everything into displaying. Mood if check get this filter display div display equals to block. Is that a good approach? I'm not sure. But it might. Yep. Let's have the debate. Let's have the debate. Let's see. Okay, the why is it missing? I know this is set to move div. Oh, move div. Okay. Okay, so now we need a tracking mode. And we have it here. So that is also default to false. And we can have that on click if get CMV is true. Else set CMV true. False. And also when we are setting that to true, we will try to display old mood. Is it reasonable? Let's see. Right, so in this case, if we're changing it like this, when we click here, we've got all the mood selection. And we can select one. And we click here, we got different selection. And we can select one. With hand tracking. Is it better or worse? I'm not sure if that is better. Okay, I think what we can do after the string is that we can have I can record a video. I can record a video and ask for the feedback from the community, right? So after I end the string, I will record a video for the new type of UI selection that we could use, like what we're seeing here, and see how the community think about it, right? So I think currently we still need some separation between these two. Yeah, I think in this case, maybe we should add a separation. Maybe just one more separation. Let's see how it goes. Too much. Yep, that's just one more separation. And see how it goes. Yep. Here. Okay. Huge problem. One huge problem is that what we want to do is that when the user click into it, this user is entering selection mode, right? But when the user is clicking somewhere else, like anywhere else, we should set this parameter back to, we should set the selection parameter back to false, right? I think this is very important. Or when the user is just entering elsewhere, I'm not even saying that the user is, so when the user is moving the mouse out, just hovering the mouse out from the original GUI, from the sidebar, we should deselect the previous selection. Does it make sense? We should, right? Let me see. So where is the hover? On mouse over, on mouse out. Yep. So here, on mouse out is what we want to track. In the on mouse out, after the create mood layout, on mouse out of the mood bar, we should set the selection to false and both selection to false. Right. Set selection mode. Right. Let's see. Okay, good point. Good point. So on mouse out, set it to false. And get the current mood. CMV tracking mode. Set what's the display mood? What? No. Set mood select. Yes. Get GMV. Sorry, get CMV mode. Okay, let's see. Click out. Click out. Click. What? Why? What the fuck? Oh, mouse out. What? What? What is the size of the move bar? Is it not the full length? The move bar, yeah. This is the size of the full length, right? Why? Why? Why is it not working? So we are trying to set these to false, which pretty much disabled the tracking, and we are trying to change the mood. I think we do have this configuration, which is mood, yes, to the current mood. So these are all correct. And let's check here. Okay, anyway, these are or should be all correct. We do have the controller here to the set mood. Yes, it is here. shouldn't be too much of a problem. But why is the event not triggered as we will like as what I will want it to? Can I have the event? And let's check the console. Mouth event. What? What? Okay, first of all, mouth out. It's on mouth out, right? Holy shit. Okay. It's mouth event that go into different. Only relative event will be captured. That is a problem. That is a problem. So what we only want is a mouth event that have the srci, sorry, that have the from element. Okay, wait a second. Out. Okay. What I need is this one. From element deba. Okay. So on if e from element equals to mover, then we set these. Does it make sense? In, out. In, click, go to another one, out. What the fuck? Why? Okay. What the heck? Whoa, okay. Yeah, okay, this is problematic. This is problematic. Okay, so we need to see what the mouth event, the mood and in and out from relative target to okay. It can be difficult, but we should have a way to track it, right? So on mouth out, there are a lot of on mouth out will be code inside this. So what we want to see is the first one for 8, first 8 ID equals to the first 8 ID of the second element. And let's have the substring. Okay, it's called slice. Zero, 8. Let's see. If this work, it is like uncaught cannot read property of null. Reading ID. Okay, so we need to have both. From element and to element and both. Okay, let's see. Okay, working. What the fuck? What the fuck? Let's see again. Anything wrong to what I'm checking? In, out. Okay, so we got one. We got from element. We have 2 elements. I don't see any problem with it. What's the problem with it? Okay, so here, click, out, out. What is this one? So we are moving from upper body to, what the heck? Upper body. And this one we're moving from upper body to canvas. Wait, I think what we were doing is that we are moving from face only to upper body. Okay, so let's use relative target then. Target. Related target. Let's see. Now, okay. Shit. Now let's see. not going. It's not showing the one. Okay, let's debug it one by one. Debug it one by one. Okay, so the problem is definitely inside this line. So what about, let's just get it like this and see. Let's see what we're looking at. The move DB, hand div, hand obj. Ah, hand div moved obj. Hand div, hand obj. Okay, doesn't mean that we should have the target actually. Let's see. Is it because what I'm not using target? Okay. Hand obj. No, it's just because it is actually. Let's say again. Hello, NeoCraze. Thanks. Yeah, so we're currently debugging the mouse tracking result that we are trying to open up hand tracking object, and we're trying to move to another hand tracking object. To see how they will actually go, so that we know that the user is currently selecting different hand tracking object. Okay, so that is tricky. That is tricky. Okay, so what we want to evaluate will probably be the seventh is equals to this, and the relative is also equals to this, and we only need to check the first 4. Let's see. Okay, 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 okay. It seems like this could work. This could work. Okay, so let's use this. Let's use this. And this will need to equals to this one. And we can have other function enabled. Let's see. Great. So now what we are seeing is that we are having move selection. Shit. What the heck? It should be the same, right? Oh no. So okay, so when it is not the same, we'll close it. Sorry. So here, when it is not the same, we will fuck. Okay. We need to go through the logic a little bit. Um, what we want to track is that this is true, and this is also true, and that is not true. So this. Shoot. No. Okay, so this one should actually be here then. Yeah, that should be here. So let's see. Uncut cannot report these of none. Oh. If we do it like this, if any of it is not true, we will not, if target or related target is not does not exist, we will not go through the following check, and we will not. Okay, it might work. Okay, let's see. It might work. Open up, going to outside, going inside. Open up, going to one another, going to next one. Yes! Okay, and then we click into it, and we scroll, and we select the auto. And yes. Click into it, and we move out. Yes! Yes! Yes. Okay, now the problem is, now the problem is, can we have the auto up in the front? Because I love auto. Let's have the auto in the front then. Right, so what I'm saying is that in the mood control, I think in the control. Thanks, thanks, New Grace. Yeah, it's quite an achievement. We actually stuck in here for more than 30 minutes already. So yeah, it's quite an achievement that we can actually have the move selection good to go. Although I know that I'm not that good at basically visualization related stuff, so it might look very ugly, but hey, as long as it works. So let's change the move map and also the default move selection, because if we change this, auto might appear on the top, and I really love to have auto on the top. No, it's not on the top. Why is it not on the top? is it because I tried to check okay, so when we are trying to render our mood, we know that we're calling one function called getOMood. So let's see how that function is implemented. GetOMood, we're trying to check all the mood with their keys. So we are looping through this mood map and tries include key push. Valid mood. Yes, so we're trying to push this to the valid mood array. So why are we not getting the auto first? Because in the mood map, I think we change it, and this one should be appear on the top, right? Or let's just reset it again and see how it goes. Click. No, it's still. So the order is angry, sorrow, fun, surprise, relax, neutral. And then auto, and then extra. Okay, that's we have to debug this. We have to debug this. Let's just try to see what the valid mood looks like. By the way, let's remove that event. Yep. Cool. So let's see. We have the get valid map. Why are we not printing it? Are we changing the file in the correct position? Shoot. Okay. Okay. That's stupid. Yep. The reason why the change is not successful is because we are changing the file in the wrong folder, right? So we should change it here. In the control, this is a core. Control, yes. So yes, so here we have auto, and here we have auto. Nice, and let's just refresh code, and we should get auto in the front. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, and we can have two. Nice. Great. Now, and also here, up. Nice. Okay, so this is a version that we can definitely record a video and have the community check if we will like to change it to this UI option. So of course, if people don't like it, let's just change the icon. And after the development of this one, what I will do tonight is that, okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint. What I'll do tonight is that I will try to check how to integrate the UI. Right, so we understand that sorry, not the UI. How to integrate third-party Blanchard API. I figured that checking the third-party Blanchard API might not be a very good choice because I was just looking at stuff, right? So might not be a good choice for streaming content. Although, yeah, I know just writing code and complain about stuff is also not a good streaming content. But at this, I'm talking. So I will check the third-party Blanchard API offline and to see how we can do the integration. And by tomorrow, I think we should be able to have some time. It will not be a lot. I will probably only be able to have 2 hours of streaming time from 3 o'clock to 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. UK time. Unlike today, while we have already been streaming 3.5 hours, but I should still have some time. That is to say, if I actually spend time studying how the third-party integration can work, we should be able to do a very quick integration with that. So I think we should be able to finish that tomorrow. Great, sincere. Thank you. Cool. It's great to see that there are actually people tuning in. Because I recorded it mainly for the purpose of recording it, right? So or to push myself actually to work on the project, right? So yeah, it's great to see people tune in and actually provide some idea, opinion, and different things that we could possibly do. Nice. So cool. That's it for today. Any other things that anyone would like to talk about? Wonderful. Yes. Let me set the recording. And we can close the test. Great. Wonderful. Thanks everyone and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.